15th round of Mexico. I'm here with Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well, and good to see you all on a Tuesday evening, wherever you are.
And yeah, as I said before, it's the last race week of Season 4. Nothing to play for, maybe 3rd place, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. But that's not that important, as both championships were already been taken by Williams in round 12, I think, out of my head, but that's a long time ago. And the reason why we're streaming on this Tuesday is because Sunday we tried to race, but the PlayStation servers were down on some kind of games and you couldn't join an online lobby. It will say error or something like that, so we'll just have to do it today, but we're still here, so no excuses. We're still racing, so yeah.
So as we were saying before, Matthias, so the situation with the championship, guys, for those of you that have not followed us recently, as we've mentioned before, in Canada a few weeks ago, FIFA wrapped up the championship to be Season 4 Formula Euroleague champion. Williams also, in the same race, wrapped up the Constructors title as well, but there's still plenty to fight for. This is in no way a free hit. Of course,
3rd place.
Absolutely. So 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, Tim Wentink in the Red Bull pretty much has it all in his hands at the moment. He has a big lead over Ardapple Gamer, who won last time out, and it must be said, with a 23-point gap, I should say, it's going to require something on a monumental scale to have stopped Tim from clinching 3rd position in the Drivers' Championship. However, further down, Matthias, we've got, as I said, Benjamin in 4th place, still within a shout of 3rd, but most likely will be defending 4th. And then, of course, Felix in the sister Williams. Hopefully he can try and improve his position in 5th. And then we've got Simon in the sister Mercedes, and the 2 racing points of Ice-T and KJ Eltink duking it out for those positions as well. Moving on to the Constructors' Championship, it gets a little bit more interesting. We still have Red Bull and Racing Point 8 points apart, duking it out for that 3rd position in the Constructors' Championship. Further down, we also have Ferrari, Toro Rosso and Haas fighting for what it seems to be best of the rest, 6th, 7th and 8th. And of course, Renault pretty much in no man's land. Ferrari can catch them, but again, it will require a change of epic proportions in order for that to happen. But nonetheless, season finale here in Mexico, it's a very fitting place. A very fitting setting for the final race of the season. Mexican fans love their racing. They know so much about racing. There's a rich racing pedigree here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. So it's an excellent curtain raiser for Season 4 Formula Euroleague. And I think, Matthias, you'll agree with me. It's been an incredible season of racing. So many highlights, so many great results. And I'm certainly looking forward to Season 5. If it's got anything like this, it will be a great season.
I think if you would make a highlight video, it probably would take half an hour, because it's so much battles. For example, the Canadian Grand Prix, where you have Thomas charging from 9th place to a win and clinching the title by only a couple of points to spare. Otherwise it will go into the next round, but he just clinched it.
Well, of course, that's not a bad idea, actually, for the admins post-season, to create a little montage or a little highlight reel of all the best bits from Season 4. There certainly weren't many to choose from. Not a bad idea, actually. We should get them on there. But I think if we want to talk about highlights as well, before we wait for the session to start, Matthias, for those of you that haven't seen, we did manage to get the Tier 2 race done on Sunday morning in Silverstone.
That was me a race. That was my race.
A great race. We're not going to spoil it, of course, for those of you who haven't seen it, but I had to watch it back. I had to watch it back because it was great. But if you haven't seen it, do make sure to check that out. That's on the Formula Euroleague YouTube channel, Formula_Euro_League, and you'll be able to see the Tier 2 race in Silverstone. I kid you not, it was absolutely brilliant. So definitely check that out. So it sounds like we're almost ready to go. All of the drivers, bar one, I believe, are in the lobby. So we'll just wait for the final driver to
join.
take part. I think looking on to this season, Matthias, I think probably a little bit of nostalgia or a little bit looking back. What has been your highlight of the season, if you could pick one?
One particular highlight.
Yeah, if you could pick one.
I think Jesus, it's difficult. It's been so much good racing, 14 rounds of pure racing, and I think title-wise have to say Thomas in Canada, but I think also the master race of Felix in Brazil, that was a really good one with him. Just getting the good strategy and just driving away even from his teammate and winning by more than 10 seconds, I think, and just really dominating it. And I think it's been also a really good race in Austria and Germany with Kai and Tim going into last corner. So I think those four are my favorites, but I can't really pick one.
Yeah, I was going to say two of mine in particular, both involving Tim, funny enough. That battle in Germany with Guy, it was really building up for a long time this season, that rivalry between them two. Unfortunately for Guy, it kind of fell away a little bit, and then Benjamin, our doppelganger in Japan, that battle between him and Tim, back and forth, two of them duking it out, literally one error would have cost the other driver the result. Eventually won by Benjamin that race, and Japan is a driver's circuit, one I've always loved. And it was his first race win, and for me, definitely my highlight of the season. Of course, I've only been involved for a short time with Formulaeuroleague, but it's definitely a highlight for me. Yeah, but definitely a highlight of mine. Now
it's been a good half season with you together, and yeah, onward to next season.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to that. But of course, we've still got to wrap up this season, and that brings us very nicely to qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico.
And we have a couple of debutants. We have YWR Marcus 27 is a familiar face in Tier 2. Bendel 001, who won the Tier 2 race after Pleasurable got a penalty for some kind of warning he got for contact with Bendel at the end. And we have APGTP Cortez, I think he was Mexican or South American. Oh, Felix is disqualified from the session, blocking the pit lane. Okay, that's weird. Kerm in the Renault, the car where he will be the reserve for next season. Everyone and Steve. And Bendel also in his new car for next season. But as we speak, some cars, only Felix got a disquali. Yeah, he might be starting for fun at the back. It's the last race of the season. Saw that in the VRL last season as well.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I spoke to Felix after the Italian Grand Prix, because his qualifying had been a bit below par from where he'd normally win. He used to get caught up in incidents, and he said to me, well, to be honest, when I record these races on my own channel, for my own feeds and that, I do like to start further back because it gives me an opportunity to show more overtakes, which is...
and the championship is done, so I understand him. Otherwise you wouldn't do it, and when the title was still on, you saw him getting good qualifying, always top 5, I think, when I talk about my head. But I think he's been good all season, and I think him and Luke are going to be maybe a surprise of next season, because they are a bit of underdogs, I think, in my opinion. Red Bull, I think, are the big favorites with Tim and Sam. Sam returning to the Euroleague after being fired at Williams after the Britain Grand Prix. His home race where I got a 1-2 with Thomas, but he'll be back stronger than ever, I think, and I think him and Tim are going to be a good duo, and I think the Racing Points are also looking quite strong once again with the same lineup, but it's not a bad lineup at all, and I think Ferrari could go for the title as well, but yeah, Benjamin and Thomas are going for no assist, so it's going to be a bit difficult. I think Ferrari are the favorites, Thomas and Benjamin. Well, Thomas said to myself, I'm not going for the title next season, and Benjamin probably not. We are just driving without assists and doing it for experience. As we see the season 3 champion now coming through the stadium section, going a bit wide on the exit of the yeah, I don't know what corner it's called, probably you know, Adam. As he goes to the final corner, Marcus goes professional pole 1:15.7, not the quickest lap, as Maiko absolutely destroys the lap over 1.7 tenths, 1:14.0.
Well, Mexico's not really known for specific corner names. I mean, you had the Petadauta back in the old days when it used to be a long right-hander, quite notably famous for an incident back in I'm trying to remember one date. So yeah, back in 1990 when Nigel Mansell, absolutely, where Nigel Mansell made an amazing overtake at the Peralta to secure a 1-2 finish for Ferrari with Gerhard Berger in the 1990 Mexican Grand Prix. Now, of course, it's replaced by the stadium section. A lot slower than it used to be, of course, not as high speed, but still has so much drama. And in front of that atmosphere, in front of that stadium full of thousands of Mexican fans, it is definitely one of the highlights of the Formula One calendar. And arguably the best podium on the grid now.
Yeah, with Lewis Hamilton coming onto the flying still rise meme. But Adam, Danny Headkamper, the runner driver for next season, asks, what's the question of the week? As Thomas goes 5th fastest as we spectated. What's the question of the week?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to have a think about that one, guys. So bear with me. No, Mexican Grand Prix had not had a massive amount of history. Of course, there was a break since the Grand Prix was back in the 90s, and of course it was a long break before it returned to the Formula One calendar in 2015. So I think give me a couple of minutes and I'll think of a good one for this one.
Yeah, I think the Mexican Grand Prix is also, I think, a bit known for the corner you named. I don't even remember the name, but also what I saw of some YouTube videos I watched when I wasn't really familiar with F1 yet, was also the crash of Ayrton Senna, I think, when he got upside down, and I think that was in Mexico, but it has a long history. The circuit is named after the two Mexican brothers who sadly both lost their lives in their passion doing motorsport racing. But yeah, I think it's one of my favorite tracks. It's really flowing, especially the second sector with the left, right, section. It's really fast. You need to get a good compromise between downforce and speed, because you have the long, really long straight. Yeah, it's the start-finish straight, which is incredibly long. I think it might be the longest straight of the season, and it's a good overtaking opportunity and a good DRS train, and you could probably get the really high speeds. As we talked about the flowing sector 2, Mikey is going for it like he has all to give for. He's going purple, I think, or is that a glitch? It's looking fast.
No, it's the purple sector 2.
Yeah, sometimes it's a glitch when the second sector you turn up purple, and you probably, I think it's thrown away the lap, but sometimes it shows purple, but probably it's been a PB. But whereas he's going to be, I think it's last. Yeah, he probably threw the boy a little bit in the last sector. I think Baku is the longest straight. Could be, but I think this feels for myself one of the longest straights. But it's fun. It's fun to drive as Lucas goes 6th fastest.
No, you're absolutely right, Matthias. It's a track that does boast that very long straight, and of course pole position is almost a bit like a poison chalice around here. It's not always the position you want to start from, so it might be interesting to see if some of the drivers may prefer to start perhaps 2nd or 3rd on the grid to get that amazing tone to turn one. Of course,
it's the best. You get a bit of a slipstream from the cars in front of you.
Absolutely right. Obviously, talk about the nature of this track. 4.3 kilometers long in length. It's a 35, 36 lap race with 50% that we're going to be doing. Not to mention 17 corners, 2 DRS zones with 1 detection point, so it's a double TRS going for turn 1, and then also
going for it.
turn
What is
3
time going to
and
be?
4.
P9, sorry for interrupting you, Adam.
No, that's okay. So as we were saying, yeah, 2 DRS sections going into turn 1 and also to 3 and into 4 as well. Of course, that long straight of Baku is on the Canada is the longest straight from what I remember. Obviously the long straight's back there. The nature of the circuit, believe it or not, Matthias, it's a track where you do need to find that right blend between a downforce heavy setup and of course that speed on the straights. Given the nature of how high it is above sea level, it's about 2.2 kilometers above sea level, making it by far the highest above sea level track, which means the air density is a lot thinner here.
Ooh,
so
look goes fastest. Good lap from
engine performance on this track is not going to be as critical as it would be in other circuits. Of course, all cars are equal performance, so this won't really matter, but it shows why in previous seasons in the real-life Formula 1 world, why Red Bull in particular have been very, very strong here with arguably the best chassis, one of the best cars in terms of aero performance, and obviously the Honda engine compared to the Ferrari and Mercedes engine not being as powerful on this track. That effect is very much mitigated by that higher sea level and thinner air. So the turbos are not as effective here as it would be. But of course, as I said before, that's not really going to matter given that all cars are equal performance. So it's down to the driver. But a heavy downforce setup, particularly to handle Sector 2 and Sector 3 where it's much slower, is probably the way to go this weekend.
Yeah, I think sometimes they even run with Monaco-like setup, so really high wings because it's a thin air. As you already said, it's really high above sea level, as some cars are almost finishing their lap.
Of course, less drag as well, so that is a good point, Matthias. Yeah. So it's more beneficial here to run with more wing on this track, with less air density. There's less drag, which means you have to run that extra downforce to compensate. But I'm imagining these drivers will know that very much indeed. So qualifying, for me, it's more about the race than qualifying performance. And of course, to look after your tyres too. This track is very easy on the tyres, so the drivers can afford to push that little bit more.
Soft medium strategy.
Quite possibly. I mean, someone could take a gamble with the half distance of this race to go soft and then hard maybe to one stop. That is possible on this track. Probably easier to do that than others. Could get away with the mediums, but you'd have to push that soft stint quite long so that the medium tyres don't wear out later on in the race.
Yeah, I'm not that good as a strategy as James Vowles is, so I'm more like a Ferrari strategist. As Yellow is looking good in the P9, he got an amazing P4 in the last round. Feels like years ago when we last race at Tier 1, but he has got P4, his strongest result this season, and scoring more than the half of the points than he already had this season. And he's now, I don't know if he's finishing this lap, it doesn't look really fast to me. He is almost, he's almost a second of the pole lap. Who's on the lap? I think it's Mike, who could be, so we'll be watching him in the McLaren. Still down in P17. What can he do? 6 minutes remaining. It goes really fast when you're having fun in those qualifying sessions. And let's see what the Dutchman can do. A bit of I don't know if he's happy with the season what he's had, but he'll be getting another chance next season again in the McLaren, and he'll be racing next to the season 1 champion Steve. And let's see what he can do with the Belgian driver. He goes now to P14, just about in front of his teammates, as there are some cars on their timed lap, as Lucas spins after turn 3, exit turn 3, and he got too early on the traction. As you saw, he just got too early on it and just completely lost the car, and nothing you can do about it. Probably Karam now the next one to set a lap time, or is it his teammate Benjamin? No, Benjamin is on his out lap. And you're gonna a question of the week already, or do we need to wait a little more?
No, I've got one for you. So I was just looking through my notes to see what might be good. So I want to make this a little bit...
Sorry,
No, that's fine. I want to make this tricky. So just watching Benjamin now, he's going to have to avoid some traffic. Passing Alpha, and hoping the Mercedes will get out of the way as well. Look, I believe that's Simon.
In P5 though, really strong lap from the Turkish Dutch driver, and he's now performing the Ramadan, so I think it's even harder for him. Now he can't all day. Ask your question. Sorry.
Yeah, so as I'm just watching Ben's lap, he's gone 3 times faster than himself, purple sector 1, so it'd be good to keep an eye on his lap as we go round. So my question for the final race of the season, guys, now this one is going to be a bit tricky. It's a 3-part question. So this is based on the 1968 Mexican Grand Prix, and the reason why this one is significant is because this is the best result for a Mexican driver in their home Grand Prix. Can you name the driver and also a bonus point to name where they finished in that race? It's the best result of a Mexican driver at their home Grand Prix, happened in 1968. Can you name the driver and where they finished in that race?
Benjamin goes second fastest, just behind the pole time of Luke. And maybe a bonus point if you get the team as well, or is that too tricky?
I will settle for the driver and the position as well.
Okay.
I'll reveal that one as we go at some point in the race.
Said Pedro Rodriguez P4. Oh, Benjamin goes a bit wide, but Adam, is that true?
I'll reveal the answer later on in the race. Let's see, get some more guesses in from some of the other people in the chat, and we'll see how we go.
As we'll be watching the Champions Lap in P5 currently, invalidating it because he got it too much on the curb, so not what you want as you're on your lap. Oh, we'll just go on board with Michael then. We have 20 viewers, Jesus. So yeah, make sure to like the video streams if you like it. And tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central European time and 6 p.m. UK time, there will be a big announcement for season 5. Steve told me to say that in the stream, so I'll do what the boss says. As Luke starts his lap coming... Oh, he's abandoned his lap as he is...
Well, Simon's coming around the final corner, and this one's going to be a quick time because he was fastest in the middle sector. He only goes 4, so he's slight improvement.
But not a place.
Just behind his teammate in the Mercedes. So it seems quite a few of the teams, some of their drivers adopting similar setups. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out in the race. Looking further down the order, seeing the two McLarens. The two McLarens look a bit out of place in qualifying, I must say. To me, that perhaps they're running... Yeah, I think perhaps they're running a bit too much downforce, or they're going for a race-friendly setup. So expect to see the McLarens of MDJ and Killer 7 climbing through the field.
Goes 8th fastest. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's quite alright. Of course, one team in particular that needs a good result this weekend is Ferrari. We had Joran did a brilliant drive in the second half of the Italian Grand Prix last week to finish in the top 10. Of course, no Magic Alonso this weekend. He's been replaced by APG_TV TTV Cortez in the Ferrari. Got in the John Alesi-like helmet down in 15th. Apparently his last run, but it's very tight at the moment, the tyres. As you can see, the top 14 drivers all within a second of each other, with Bendel in the Alfa Romeo at the back. So it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out in the race. Luke, once again, flying in the Toro Rosso.
Only got 2 pole positions, and is he going to make it 3?
He's a driver that's come a very long way in a short space of time. I remember watching him in his earlier VRL days, and he's definitely improved a lot there. And his form is showing off here. He was pole in Brazil, wasn't able to convert that into a win, but he's shown his pace to be very good. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how it pans out in the race, whether or not he was running too little downforce.
I think I was 5th fastest, I think.
Yes,
as
fifth
we'll be
fastest
watching
for our team.
Kerem is on a lap with his Turkish helmet. He's looking really racy on those soft Renault, on the Renault, sorry, what is middle sector go to? I think it's 5.5 of a second below his normal time. He needs to get a good sector 3. He can still improve one position. What is he going to do? He's now still in P7, the only one to set a lap time. He's going to improve his lap. Around the final corner, it is P7 still for the Turkish driver. Oh no, sorry, there are a couple of guys still setting lap. Bendel goes 11th fastest. Marcus cancelling his lap. Cortez still on the lap, and he improved 3/10 in the last sector. So what can he do? Don't think he's going to steal pole from Luke.
No, he's pretty much abandoned this lap, Marcus. He's coasting to the line. And he adds pain to that misery for Marcus as APG_TTP Cortez goes 16th fastest in the Ferrari, and as you can see, the top 16 now within a second of each other, and I believe that's qualifying. Matthias, the biggest shock has to be Tim Wenting down in 10th place in the Red Bull. Well out of position. Felix, of course, disqualified from the session, but I don't think he'll mind that too much. He does enjoy a race where he has a few overtakes, and will certainly have plenty to go into turn 1, but of course, downside of being in the midfielder at the back is it more than a chance in a corner like turn 1 at Mexico to be taken out by someone else racing the same race as you, but that is qualifying.
Yeah, it's a good qualifying session. With Luke taking his 3rd pole of the season, so 3 poles is quite. We have Luke Benjamin only 7,000ths of a second behind. Maiko Thomas, Ice-T, Simon Kerem with a good qualifying. He ran in the Ferrari. Roy Boy Tim down in 10th place. Bendel, Monster, Jelle, Lucas, Matthias, APGTT Cortez, just going to call him Cortez, Marcus, Mikey, Killer 7, and Felix, who has been disqualified from the qualifying. He'll be starting from the back. Yeah.
So I think for the benefit of the chat, Danny Hetkamper asking me what's the answer. Clearly he knows he's got it right. So yes, it was Pedro Rodriguez finishing 4th place in the 1968 Mexican Grand Prix. So congratulations, Danny. Very, very good answer there. I was hoping to catch a few people out by that one, but Danny is on the button, and yeah, well done to you, Danny. Obviously I'm going to have to make these questions a bit harder for Season 5, but as Matthias mentioned just now, during the qualifying session, for those of you that are just joining us, details for Season 5 of Formula Euroleague are going to be released very, very soon. We've prepared a nice little video trailer that's going to be uploaded onto our Instagram page, which is Formula_Euro_League. And also the YouTube channel as well. And that's going to be live at 7 PM tomorrow, Central European Time, and 6 PM UK time. So make sure to check that out. Plenty of exciting news and updates that we've got for you. And
it's
we
a
can't
bit
wait.
raining. Or no, that's just a bit glitchy.
No, it's quite overcast. I'll have a look at the onboard. It doesn't look like it.
I have also a question, some kind of who has the most podiums, who has the most podiums, and how many podiums does he have? So in the past 14 races, we have a guy, not going to name which team, not going to name who, has scored almost every single race a podium, but who did it and how many podiums? It's quite easy, just have to look back, but not going to tell who and
So could you repeat? So in Formula Euroleague?
Yeah, in Formula Euroleague.
Okay.
It's a Formula Euroleague related question. Questions.
Well, I don't know if you think I even know that. I mean, I've only followed for half the season, so
I made some sort of Excel thing and kept all the podiums,
oh, brilliant,
poles and the victories. So we will do something with that, but I'm not going to tell anymore. Danny Hetkamper says Thomas and 9 podiums. That's not right. So you, it's close, but not going to say which one is right and which one is false. But he has scored a lot of podiums, and we can also do it with victories and poles. So there are 3 things left. Luke lining up for the 3rd time this season from the front row, and also from the pole position spot. I think Mike and Thomas are really well set to be there in the 2nd row. Maiko 10.
Yeah,
No.
they've had their moments in this second half of the season since Maiko's return to injury, but there haven't really been many occasions where they've had the freedom to really duel it out like they were at the earlier parts of this season. Perhaps today, now that there's no pressure, it's practically a free hit between our top 2 drivers in the league this season. Let's hope they have one big battle, one final time to close this season out in the right way, as we're about to get underway for the Mexican Grand Prix.
Here we are for the final time, as you said, in season 4, with Vitoroso taking the final pole. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the last time, and away we go. Who gets a good start? I think Benjamin got a bad start after Luke. Luke got a good start. Thomas got absolute belter of a start, falling down to 6th place almost. Luke still trying to cover off Benjamin, but they are so close to each other. Look at the field, 3, 4 wide. Benjamin goes around the outside, has now the inside of the 2nd corner. Has he overtake Luke? He has now been overtaken as Ice-T gets an absolute flyer from P6 there, already up to P3 as Thomas falls down the order to P6, now battling with Simon. As Karen falls a bit down the order, Lucas already making up some places, and both McLarens in last place. Felix already up to 13th place, 14th, battling with Marcus, I think, as Benjamin overtook Luke for 1st place, as Troy is now in 3rd place. Luke tries to hang on with the Renault, and that's a bit of the first lap summed up, as we see a lot of guys really close. Felix now going for the dive bomb into the stadium section. Does he has it? Yes, he has, going a bit wide on the exit. But he made it down for P13, so he's made already 7 places up in only just about 1 lap. As Karen can't really keep on with the guys in front of him.
Well, as you said already, I mean, what a start from Felix. I mean, we know we were joking saying he likes to record himself starting from the back of the grid to do the videos of his overtakes. He's already made up 7 places on the first lap. What a start from Felix. And surprisingly, on the first lap, everybody very well behaved on the last race. Of course, nobody clearly wants to end their season early, and that certainly transpired. A track usually
McLaren has spun round.
But this time everyone behaving themselves, and yeah, looks like we've got a race in store for us. Benjamin taking the lead, as you've mentioned. Great start from him. Unfortunately, the 2 McLarens drop right down the field. They're going to be going long on the medium tyres, so we'll have to keep an eye on their race as it progresses. But as you said, not the best start for them, and not the best start for Marcus either, down in the Red Bull.
No, Thomas also lost 1 place to Maiko and to Ice-T, and then he said Matthijs fastest lap as well. Maybe we'll be doing with that something next season, as Tim is trying to get the last point from Monster in his Red Bull. Well, he'll be giving it a shot at the championship next season, as Benjamin gets the fastest lap so far. Luke is trying to tuck in behind him and follow it in the DRS train. It's a yellow in sector 3.
Well, this is where it's going to be for someone.
Matthias has got a little bit of an incident. Quarters changing his front wing, same for Bendel, so there has been some kind of incident. Don't know what, but there has been.
Yeah, one of the Haas has had a big spin. FEL Freeze literally had an incident where he had a bit of a collision coming out of turn 2 and 3, and then lost the back end of that Haas, sent him spinning, and that is his season over.
Safety car deployed, safety car. Well, Lucas told me he's going to start using no assist, so no traction control on the controller. It's a bit difficult, so I
can speak from experience. It certainly isn't easy.
I got
obviously
it
when driving. when driving without traction control, it's very important to ensure that you're very smooth with your throttle input on the exit of slower corners, because these cars are not the most nimble to handle, and if you get it wrong and don't manage that throttle and steering input correctly without traction control, you really lose the back end and you'll
Benjamin
end up
going
just
to the
like
pits.
F1
Benjamin going to the pits. Luke follows him. Are they going
Yeah,
to the hearts?
I'm not surprised by this. As I said before, Matthias, the degradation around the Mexican track is
really
very,
low.
very low, so don't be surprised. Right, so that confirms to me that they're going to be two-stopping. The soft, medium runners are going to be two-stopping. Let's see if anyone puts hard tyres. Bendel's put on the hard tyres, Cortez has put on the hard tyres, Monster in the other Haas has put on the hard tyres, and so has Roy Boy. So maybe it could be a bit early to go to the end on these tyres. It's not out of the question, it's doable, but they're going to really have to manage those tyres. Of course, don't forget they're going to get an extra few laps because of being behind the safety car, so they'll be able to go nice and slow to manage their pace. But 30 odd laps, it's a push. My guess is that they're probably going to go long into this race, and maybe if their tyres start to fall off, or if there's another safety car, chuck on a set of soft tyres before the end, and then go like the clappers at the end. So be good to keep an eye on those guys. But interesting choice of strategy there. And most to note, Joran, Simon, Boktormens, and MDJ and the McLaren all stayed out.
I think
so
you're
they're
happy
at the
to
front.
see Joran in P2 and the Ferrari in the podium.
Do you know what? I mean, I've followed Joran halfway through this season, and I'm a Ferrari fan, a huge Ferrari fan. So
I'm
of course,
a Joran fan.
I want to see the Ferrari fans do well. But I'll tell you what, the second half of the season, it's been very difficult for Ferrari. But that performance in Italy, right when they needed something to smile about, those Italian fans, because it's not been the best year for Ferrari, far from it. And of course, with the roster they've got next season, championships have to be expected. But Joran in particular, that second half performance in Italy was really something special. He drove a great race, and even though he finished in the, I think it was 7th or 6th, something like that, it's good to see his form really coming to the fore at the end of the season. It's a good way to end the season. It will allow him to reflect on what he's done well to climb up the order, and maybe go for a push for bigger things next season wherever he ends up. So
yeah, he's going to a new team, new start. To the Renault team, the French team, going from Italy to France.
Yeah, and Renault need to improve as well. Of course, you know, Benjamin has done a great job this season for Renault, but he's pretty much carried that team most of the season with his efforts. So, of course, it's a big ask to fill Benjamin's shoes, and I'm sure Joran will be aware of that, but he's definitely got potential to keep improving the way he does. There's no reason why he can't continue that form into next season.
Yeah.
As I can see in the chat, FEL3 says he lost the car. So your suspicions were right there, Matthias. You know, it's difficult without traction control, losing the back end coming under the slow corner, and that's the payback. You end up in the wall, so that's his season over, unfortunately.
Yeah, season over, and this is last EuroLeague race so far, because he's going to manage title contending Ferrari next season. So is he going to play the Jean Todt of the old Ferrari team bosses, or is he going to play it safe, as safety car is in this lap? So Simon will be giving up the pace to everyone. Joran behind, Mikey behind him.
Well, with that driver lineup, I'm expecting fireworks at Ferrari, so I hope FEL3's management skills are up to code, because there may be a few occasions where he may have to bash his drivers' heads together to get them to work together rather than fighting for a championship, because there's no doubt in my mind those guys are going to fight for the championship. We're about to get underway now as Simon takes his sweet time to get them underway. It's Constantina effect all through the stadium section, the fans' anticipation. You can hear a pin drop as now Simon gets underway, and he's called them napping. He's got a great run, and Joran is going to have to be defending from MDJ, who's going to be all over him like a bad rash going into turn 1.
Watch Mikey on Joran. Is he going for the dive bomb? Yes, he is. Going into turn 1. Can't stick with it as Bendel retires from the session. What is Felix doing? He's all the way down the order. Maybe got a collision with Bendel. I don't think he has, but he has been all the way down as there's a yellow in sector 1 for a slow going Alpha of Bendo.
Yeah, that's
probably
Bendo.
just left the session as Simon goes into the lead. Still is there. Look at those two, championship first and second.
Oh, Marcus has had an incident as well, Matthias. Sorry to interrupt,
no.
but Marcus has found himself in the wall again through after turn 5. And his race is getting worse and worse and worse. His car's still intact though, thankfully. And he's still going, so he's not out of this race, but he's got some work to do. Just like Felix, after such an excellent start from Felix, he's fallen all the way down to the back again.
Royber getting pushed wide by a Monster. Now is the inside of the American team, but he's been overtaken by the Austrian driver. Had a good race in Italy, his debut, but now is out of the points. Thomas is battling all the way with Maiko, as Luke is trying to follow the Renault car of Benjamin. Mike, who lost 2 places on those medium tires, now lost 3 places to Ice-T as well, as he gets a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, and he's been put under pressure all the time now by Maiko.
It's a bit harsh, that time penalty. He didn't really have anywhere to go with Ice-T really forcing him as far, which was fair move, but I think the stewards may be looking to take that time penalty away from MDJ at the end of the race. Of course, if he doesn't get another warning, so he was already on 2 warnings before that, so if he gets another one, that will mitigate that one completely. But yeah, it's not a good lap for him. He was challenging for second, but now he's dropped 3 places.
Benjamin got off. Benjamin
and Joran, they've had a crash.
Oh no!
Benjamin and Joran, they had a crash in the fast middle sector, and that's wrecked both of their races.
Mayhem.
Yeah, and it's a virtual safety car, so didn't really get to see.
Almost full of his front wing. Yes, he has.
Didn't really get much. Yeah, he's lost it. Oh, that's a shame. Didn't really get to see much of that incident, but by the looks of it.
Ooh, Simon drive-through penalty speeding under VSC. This now hands Luke the lead over, as he's been probably. There is Simon now into the pits.
I mean, that will spare Benjamin's blushes a little bit, that he's in the virtual safety car, but it's going to have to be a quick turnaround, which is going to take time, and there's a train of cars behind him. So you're going to have to wait and see now, just see what he puts on. He's put on the hard tyres, Matthias, so Benjamin going to the end now, no more stops for him. Joran as well, putting on the hard tyres conveniently, coming out right together. But
what's Thomas going for it to Maiko? They almost make contact, not yet, but close to touching. Mikey's still there in 3rd place, holding up the guys behind him, as Kerm is in 7th place behind Tim, doing a really good job. Joran spun and Benjamin had almost nowhere to go, so maybe the stewards going to look into it. I don't think, maybe just being
the race. It did look something like that on my screen. I did catch the end of that. And judging by the damage on both cars, that sounds plausible to me. So very unfortunate there. Joran just losing, running out of talent, and Benjamin just caught up in Joran's accident, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst time in the race for that to happen for Benjamin. He's managed to avoid losing too much time with a virtual safety car, and by luxury of putting on the harder tyres to go to the end. The others are going to have to pit again at least. Probably Monster in 8th place, perhaps the highest runner in my mind that could probably go to the end without stopping again. But of course, we'll see what the leaders do. Will they manage their tyres now? Will they find a rhythm to watch their strategy, manage the tyres to try and go to the end, or will they race each other to try and take the positions early on and maybe make it some later? It's all to play for here. You haven't told these guys that this is the last race of the season. They've all fighting for everything that they can get. There's a lot of pride at stake today.
Yeah, but do you guys have another answer on my question? Who has the most podiums this season? Danny almost got it right, but he was just a little bit off. So try it again, Danny. Maybe you get it right next time. As Benjamin gets a 3-second time for the multiple penalty warnings. As Jelle is on the back of Monster, and he's probably been trying to overtake him. Thomas 10, so close, yet so far. Thomas 12, no, yet Thomas 11. It's a bit not too fair play by just guessing the numbers, but yeah, Thomas with 11 podiums. Can he make it 12? I don't know. But yeah, Thomas got 11 podiums in 14 races, so that's a really decent stat. What do you think about it, Adam?
Well, I mean, it's an incredible season it's been for him. It's definitely been the class of the field. I mean, coming away from that just briefly, it's one thing that is worth mentioning that's interesting at the moment. Ice-T in second position. Now, if my maths is right in this championship, what's going on, obviously, forget Tim. With Benjamin at the moment, Tim is nailed on for that third position as we expected. But right now, Ice-T could jump both Felix and Benjamin into fourth place in the Drivers' Championship at the moment, if he can get past Luke to win this race. Right now, he's ahead of Felix in the championship, with Felix down in 12th, so not scoring, but with Benjamin in 16th. If Ice-T can get past Luke and win this race, he will move into fourth position in the Drivers' Championship at the end of the season, and that is huge for his confidence. Not to mention, Racing Point as well, fighting Red Bull for that third position in the Constructors' Championship, and I believe, once again, it's pretty much neck and neck. It's going to come down to count back on race wins, because right now we have Ice-T in second with 18 points in the bag, and we have Tim Wentic in fifth with 10 points. They'll be tied on points in the Constructors' Championship between Red Bull and
Tim
Racing
has
Point.
3
So that
wins,
will come
Racing
down.
Point has 0.
Oh, well, there you go. So, at the moment, Ice-T is going to need to take the lead, and of course, with the Toro Rosso driver of Luke in front of them, he's not going to be wanting to hand out many favours against the Red Bull team. So, right now, it hangs in the balance. Ice-T, 2 championship positions in the Constructors and Drivers' Championship. Pretty sure the Racing Point team will be very, very happy if he can find a way past Luke, who was broken away from the DRS zone at the moment, with Tim stuck behind Thomas and Maiko, our 2 championship leaders, who are fighting it out for third position at the moment.
Final podium spot.
Plenty of racing to go on, and of course that's without factoring penalties into the equation, but I don't believe any of the front guys have any to worry about at this point in time, but plenty of racing to go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, still, I think, 24 laps to go. Something like that, as Thomas gets an absolute fly out of the last corner. What can he do going around the outside of turn 1 now, side by side for the final podium spot, trying to switch it out around the outside. Now in front, and he has made the overtake stick, but Maiko fights back. Can he do something? Thomas probably has DRS. Yes, he has, so Maiko has 0 DRS. What can Tim do? Can he follow the footsteps of the Williams driver Felix, also already up into the points? Don't forget that, made up 10 places in 12 laps already, and he has been 3.7, 3.6 behind Jelle, and he is probably on the charge to some good points finish, as Luke is still leading the pack by 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, if you're looking for a video to watch in the coming days when it gets uploaded, check out Felix, because he's overtaken, what is it, 14, 15 cars already?
17.
Wow, and it's got plenty more to go. So yeah, that's definitely not going to be a boring video to watch. I'm definitely going to be watching Felix's video if there's anyone in the pack to
and
watch.
Also, as board, check Adam's podcast.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that towards the end of the race, or if there's another safety car, I'll put a cheeky plug on that as well.
As Maiko is going to re-overtake Thomas, no, sticks behind him. But it's so close.
It's the first time we've really seen these two battle for position in a long time. It's amazing what can happen when the pressure's off. It really is. And Maiko driving beautifully at the moment. But I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas is just managing his tyres, taking his time. He knows he's got the speed. He knows he's got the DRS tucked in behind Ice-T, there or thereabouts, who has got a 3-second time penalty, which will not help, as Maiko getting very aggressive there, just nudging Thomas, letting him know that he's there. And that one false move and he'll be going right past him. But it's great to see these two dueling it out. Hopefully for Maiko, his hip's feeling a lot better after his injury earlier in the season, and next season can really have a real go at Thomas for the championship.
To Ice-T for the DRS. Ice-T not really can hold up with Luke. Luke being so far the class of the field. So can he get his first podium? And if it's going to be his first podium, it's also his first victory.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Ice-T can really try and pull that gap back. Right now he's lost a toe. Luke has broken that toe beautifully and is getting away at the front. And to be honest, it's a big choice what's going to happen for the leaders now. All the top six,
Michael going
all
for it.
strategy.
Thomas still in front. It's close, it's close, it's close. Michael again not getting the better exit out of Thomas. Now needs to watch his mirrors for Tim.
What's Tim going to do?
Oh, he's going for it. Big ballsy dive bomb.
Oh, and he just held it in there, but
doing a bit of
Michael
a
giving him enough space.
Back. Oh no.
I'll tell you what, it's excellent racing between these two.
Yeah.
Literally, you couldn't fit a bus ticket between those guys. But it's brilliantly done.
Yeah, great respect between those three drivers. So there's a yellow for Ave. I think that's
an incident. Yeah, it's Matthias and Marcus.
No, Matthias just spun on his own, I think.
Oh, sorry, I do apologise. But yeah, so it's not really gone well for him. But as we were saying, yeah, the top six on the same sort of strategy at the moment. So right now they have to collectively make a decision whether they're going to gamble and try and stop again or go to the end and manage these tyres. Right now, Luke is checking out at the front.
Safety car, Marcus retired from the session.
Now, it's a bit of a pet peeve, and this is why I feel like in some leagues people do this, but when, as Marcus has literally just parked the car and crashed it, so retirement again, what this has done, Matthias, this has really opened the race up now, out of nowhere. I was just going to say, we're in a phase now where drivers are going to have to manage their tyres, but what this has done is allowed the likes of Felix, Lorenzo Bandini, MDJ, Cortez, and some drivers behind now to put on a new set of tyres. Felix is on the harder tyres, so they've all decided to put on harder tyres, so no one going on the mediums, which tells us that they don't feel that those medium tyres are going to be able to do 20 laps. So that means that the top 6 drivers, maybe Monster 2 possibly, will have to stop again. So right now, as you can see, MDJ, Lorenzo Bandini, Felix, yeah.
They're only driving 30 laps or more on one tyre compound. I don't think that's going to last.
Well, no, as I was saying, like, with less than 20 laps, well, 20 laps to go, if you take off the 2 or 3 after the safety car, you can tell that what we've seen from those stops is Felix, Lorenzo, MDJ,
Luke going
and
into the pit lane. Luke going into the pit lane.
Have all decided that those tyres aren't going to go to the end. So now this is going to get very interesting because the safety car, Matthias, has not caught up with the leader yet, so it's waiting outside turn 3 to pick up the leader, which now I believe is going to be Monster, who's going to go through everybody to lead. Where is the rest? They're all in the stadium section, so the likes of Luke, Darfifa, Ice-T, Maiko, Tim and Kerem should be okay. So they've managed to get a free pit stop, so that's the strategy out of the way now. By the looks of it, the leaders have managed to... Yeah, the leaders have managed to avoid that, so only strategy out of the way.
Oh, sure, I totally forgot to comment to say Thomas overtook Ice-T, so
Ice-T had to serve a time penalty, so Ice-T was sat in his box for about 3 seconds to serve a time penalty.
He was already behind Thomas when they entered the pit lane.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay,
you can't serve a 3-second time penalty, you only do a 5 or 10.
Oh really? You can't serve the time penalty in the pits?
No, not if it's from corner.
No, that's fine. Not a problem. Well, yeah, that is a strange one then. So Thomas has managed to get himself ahead of Ice-T, and that's going to put Luke under a little bit of pressure. What is also interesting to note is Thomas and Ice-T both put on the medium tyres. So they feel that these tyres can go to the end, so they obviously know something that we don't. I personally feel that 20 laps on those tyres is doable, but with that extra speed, especially on a track like Mexico where downforce and cornering ability is important, it will be a big factor. Luke, though, will be able to push, but he's going to quickly realise he may have been forced into picking the wrong choice of tyre. Of course, well, the only way he's going to find out once the safety car comes back in. And so yeah, just as a quick opportunity, as Matthias was mentioning earlier, so for those of you that don't know, I have a Formula One podcast where I talk about all things Formula One, the exciting news that's been going on. Not that there's been much to talk about it, but of course the news coming up that potentially we may have a start date for the season in July in Austria, which is exciting. Of course, it depends on developments with the coronavirus situation, but we talk about that sort of stuff. A few other things as well. Did a couple of episodes recently about some of my favourite cars and some of my friends' favourite cars as well, who co-host it with me. And you can check that out on my YouTube channel, which is DNF1. Of course, so that's DNF1 F1 podcast. So make sure to check that on YouTube, give it a like, subscribe, it would really help us out. And yeah, it should be great. So yeah, let's have a look at penalties to see who has what. So right now, Monster has 2 penalties. Luke, just the 1 warning for him. Same for Thomas, 1 warning. Ice-T has a penalty, which doesn't look like it's been served. So, as you said, Matthias, nothing for Mike Oakley as a whistle. Tim has 2 warnings. And Kerem 2 warnings. MDJ a penalty and a warning. And a penalty and 2 warnings for Lorenzo Bandini. What does Felix have? Just a warning. So that's the top bit. So yeah, plenty of action to go, but most of the drivers fairly clean with the exception of Ice-T in the top lot. So we'll have to wait and see how this one pans out.
Yeah, Lucas said in the chat, Monster, who's leading the Grand Prix, never scored a point. Well, I'm going to
he's got
deny
a bit of
that.
a nosebleed.
He's scored over 30 points this season, so that's BS. But he's going to get a good restart, yes or no?
Let's see if he knows what to do. Looks like it's a good getaway for Monster. And he's going to come under massive pressure from Luke, who's equally got a great run. Looks like he might overtake him into turn 1. How good is that Toro Rosso slipstream?
Really good. What's he going to do? Is he going to swoop it around the outside? I think he's trying to get... Oh, Monster got too much on the curb and slides. Almost in the side pot of the Toro Rosso. Yeah, good move. Now Thomas into the back of Monster. Oh, Monster goes deep into the brakes and Thomas overtook him already. So lost 2 positions in 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. As Ice is trying to overtake him ASAP to lose less time as possible and tries to catch up to the leaders. Yeah.
So Mikas Mildeal's saying in the chat, Monster's about to go to P5 in the next 3 corners. Not quite. Monster's still hanging on to P3 for all his might, but with those tyres being on for 14 laps, I really think he's missed an opportunity to do that. Killer 7 getting a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting to gain a position without handing it back now. There's no Ice-T in 4th place, holding off Maiko, so that championship position that he was holding on to, maybe 4th place, is starting to look in doubt now as he's starting to fall down the order a little bit. Right now he hasn't got enough points to move into 4th position, but he will move ahead of Felix at this top point in time, so still that to play for.
Yeah. Felix overtook Simon, now trying to push to the Ferrari of Cortez. Mikey in the P8 looking really good. So
it's also this interesting dynamic at the front while Monster is building a bit of a train of cars, an absolute gaggle of cars behind him. Thomas has got right up to the back of Luke and is putting him under some extreme pressure now as Luke is trying to get away. Thomas right there within DRS now, which will be activated on the very next lap with those medium tyres. This could get very interesting. Does Thomas fancy one last win for Williams to sign off an incredible Formula EuroLeague Season 4 campaign for him, as now Luke sets the fastest lap of the race, so that's his response. He knows he needs to get a move on. He needs to absolutely drive it like he stole it in order to keep Thomas behind him.
Well, yeah, Thomas's last race for Williams, leaving the British team for his loved Ferrari, and he is joining Benjamin in the Ferrari car, so I think it's one of the best lineups you'll ever see.
It's box office lineup, that is. One of the drivers in form, although not so much today, with the champion. In my favourite team, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how those two get on. It's going to be absolutely fireworks are going to be going off in that team. Those two, in my mind, definitely going to be competing for next season's championship. And I'll probably go on a limb and say right now, Season 5 FEL Constructors Champions definitely got to pick Ferrari as the favourite for that one.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Maybe they get a really bad luck, you never know. As Monster is still hanging on in third place.
He's doing a great job. Ice-T just cannot shake him. Perhaps Ice-T running too much downforce on that racing point and not giving him the straight line speed he needs to get past Monster. As you can see, you've got Maiko and Tim literally sitting there waiting, telling Ice-T, can you get a move on? We're trying to overtake, and that DRS really not helping him enough. But now Monster trying to break the toe in third place, trying to shake him off. Surely this time Ice-T is going to be able to make a move as he drives right past him. And Maiko very cleverly tucking in behind Ice-T. You can find three cars overtaking Monster into turn one.
Four.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're so wide.
3 overtakes in the space of 2 corners. That's got to be a depressing sight for Monster, but inevitable nonetheless. I would say now is the time to really take off those tyres, unless of course he's going long into the race to put on a set of softs, but by then he can find himself well outside the top 10 if he keeps that up. As further along, we've missed also, Thomas has taken the lead. He's passed Luke, Matthias.
Oh really?
Thomas leads the Grand Prix. We missed that one watching the battle with Monster, so we do apologise, but yes, Thomas has made the move. Luke is right on the back of him, so is Thomas going to drive away, or is Luke going to really get it? He's closing right in on the stadium section. The fans on their feet in that area, they're absolutely loving the racing right now, and I hope you guys are at home too. It's Thomas now starting to pull away. But that DRS is going to be very powerful for Luke, so that should keep him within touching distance. Don't forget, it's a double DRS here coming up to turn 1, and of course after turn 3, and Luke will love that.
Benjamin for P9 on Mikey. He's going further on the outside. Thomas 3-second time penalty. Oh, Benjamin goes really wide into turn 1. Made the overtake stick, and can Felix follow his footsteps? Oh Jesus, needs to back off as Mikey gets a really bad exit out of the third corner. 32nd. Third again, he's going for the dive bomb.
Oh.
Really deep onto the brakes, but he made it stick. Now tries to follow the lead of Benjamin. Benjamin going a good comeback after that big incident with Uran. Yeah.
Well, it's the end of the season, you can't really hold anything back, and Felix, they're really getting the shoulders out, barging, knocking tyres with MDJ, basically saying, hey, get out of my way, I need to get a move on. And Felix does need to get a move on. As many overtakes as he's made, he's really stagnated himself in 10th position. He really needs to get forward. Benjamin, our double gamer, climbing the order now behind the Ferrari of Cortez. So he's trying to climb the order. Of course, right now for Benjamin, it's looking very bleak for him in terms of overhauling Tim, but he still has to defend 4th in the championship. He's not got that one.
As Roy Boy overtakes Mikey for 11th place. So they're still side by side. Roy Boy really cuts him off there, but he made the overtake stick. Maiko, is he going to end this season with a podium? Or is he going to stick in P4, maybe even get overtaken by Tim? As we speak, Renault is looking quite good there on those, in this lineup with Karam and Benjamin. P7 and 9.
Starting to come alive a bit. They're starting to come alive as this race progresses on. Of course, both of them now running alternate strategies. Both of them were running quite similar, but Kerem gone for the harder tyres and Benjamin onto the mediums, which I believe, if it were me right now, I'd rather be in Benjamin's position on the medium tyres. But in order to make that strategy work, he's got to clear Cortez, who's doing a great job in the Ferrari, to hang on to that position now. But I'd be very surprised if he's able to hold on to it now as Benjamin gets a good run. But in a weird, ironic twist, it's his teammate Kerem in the other Renault that's really allowing Cortez, who's got a great run on Kerem, who's going to try and go for a dive in turn 1. And as you can see, look, just as we saw to Monster, Kerem relegated 2 positions, overtaken by Cortez and his teammate. And he's gone from 7th to 9th in the space and corner. That is how powerful the slipstream and DRS is.
Oh, as the battle goes for first place, sorry, you really missed that. Luke is going for the dive bomb. Thomas gets a bad traction. Side by side. Ooh, hang on there. Luke overtook Thomas in an amazing way.
Wow, what a great move.
Yeah, entering the swooping section, but he made it stick. He now tries to pull away from the Belgian Williams driver.
And it's important for Thomas to make sure that he needs to stay ahead of Luke. At the moment, he's not doing that. And as the race goes on, yes, of course, I believe the medium tyres will still be able to hold on. But the more that they battle and the more that they race hard, the more this is going to suit Luke with those harder tyres. He'll be able to hold on to those tyres much better as being more durable than Thomas's medium tyres. So Thomas needs to get ahead of him again, and he needs to hold on to it. Otherwise, Luke is going to drive off into the distance. We're going to turn 1 though, as Thomas goes down the inside and he does exactly what he needs to do into the lead. Luke does not fight it at this point in time, clearly knows that them two need to keep battling, and the chances of him winning this race will increase.
Does Luke have a penalty, Adam? Or?
Yeah, Thomas, you're right, he does. He has a 3-second time penalty. I don't know if Luke will be made aware of that. If the Toro Rosso team boss has told him, he might be made aware. Jeff may have told him. Lassie Gaming says Thomas has to pit though. I have to check. I don't think he does. Doesn't have to. I'll have to check the strategy because I believe
we'll have the favor of better tyre. Sorry.
No, you're right. So no, in terms of the tyre strategy, I don't believe Thomas
time penalty.
Luke. Luke's got a time penalty, so that evens it up now. So both of them have a time penalty. So the advantage that that Luke had is now gone. So he's going to have to get it done on the road. As I said, I don't believe Thomas will need to stop again. Those medium tyres will probably last him to the end of this race, and that's certainly the plan. He doesn't have to do the mandatory pit stop either. He's served both on the soft and medium tyres, so as far as I'm aware, the top 5, as they are going to go to the end on the tyres that they are on, unless of course we have another safety car. But then we're so close to the finish, if there is another safety car, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys takes the gamble and stays out, hoping the others will pit.
Oh, so Felix goes for 9th place. Can he follow Benjamin? Benjamin still behind Cortez.
Yeah, they're all tucked up behind Monster, who I must say is doing an excellent job on those harder tyres. They must be crying out to be taken off. He is definitely counting on a safety car to put on the soft tyres, Monster, because right now he's playing against time, and the longer this goes on without another incident, the more likely he's going to regret it. But with 10 laps to go, Monster definitely banking on a safety car, but doing a great job in 6th position, holding on to that. Because Cortez needs to get a move on, because he's got Benjamin behind him, he's got Felix behind him, he's got Kerem, who 2 laps ago, Kerem was fighting Monster for 6th, but he's now 10. And he's going to have Roy Boy, Simon, MDJ, Matthias Gamer all joining him very, very soon. So this fight for the last championship points is going to get very interesting towards the end of this race.
What's Luke going to do? Has an amazing slipstream on the main straight of Thomas. What can he do? Thomas is just a sitting duck here. Is he going to fight back? No, Luke covers him off.
It's almost like IndyCar racing at the moment. The both of them just allowing the and it's smart really, because Thomas knows he can't really afford to fight with those tyres and wear them out even more. Luke wants him to fight, he wants him to engage, wear those tyres out, and obviously Luke won't want to lock his brakes there, but the more Thomas battles it.
Cortez and Benjamin Felix all the way around the outside. Is he going to overtake someone? I think he has, yes,
Yeah, he is. Benjamin's gone very, very wide there. So is Cortez. Felix can get 2 positions if he's
Really
careful.
smart from him.
Oh, and Cortez holds around the outside.
Benjamin lost the place to Felix.
Great move from Felix.
Is Felix trying to overtake Cortez ASAP, or is he going to stick behind him? He has to watch his mirrors. Benjamin getting a great exit out of the swing section. Down the inside of the stadium section, pushes Felix a bit wide. Felix has now the inside. Luke now with the fastest lap, having none of Thomas behind him.
Well, that DRS really helped him, but he's really put the foot down now, Luke, to see if he can keep it. But the battle between Felix and Benjamin still going on down the back straight. I believe Ben has got the DRS, and both of them have it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is going to be great. Who's going to blink first? Yeah, sorry, we didn't see that, but you're absolutely right, as Ice-T right behind him now, and it's looking very bleak for Ice-T in this championship. He's trying to make moves, still think he'll be able to move to 5th place ahead of Felix. Oh, and he's really slid, he's going to lose that racing point. Oh wow.
No.
That slide, I'll tell you what, I don't know if you're watching it, Matthias, but all I could hear was deja vu in the background while he was sliding that racing point, and Tim has now gone ahead of him into 4th position. As a result, Tim, who right now practically just needs to finish in the points to confirm 3rd position, with Benjamin further down the order. And also, that's a big move for Red Bull ahead of the racing point. They were already ahead of him in the Constructors' Championship, but that overtake has now made it a little bit harder for racing
Felix
points
almost
over Red
loses
Bull.
his Williams.
Yeah, and Kerev now, so the Renault's very much in the fight today. Certainly not a boring race in the midfield, that's
Thomas
for sure.
going for it. Dux is sitting because of the penalty. If it stays like this, Adam, Michael will win on penalties.
That's absolutely right. While those two are fighting in front, we haven't really mentioned it, but Maiko right now has 2 penalties. I'm not sure if he knows this, but you're absolutely right, Lassie Gaming. No, sorry, not 2 penalties, 2 warnings. So right now, Lassie Gaming absolutely right in the chat, spot on. Right now, Maiko, no penalties, 2 warnings, will win this race, and Ice-T also has a penalty as well. So right now, it's a shame for Ice-T because he'd be moving up into 2nd place.
Oh, Benjamin made contact with Cortez, but he hangs on to it. Felix just behind them.
And amazingly, despite being on 25 lap hard tyres, Monster is still pulling away
once
from
again
the
a
train
penalty,
behind him.
so he'll be losing maybe even his... No, he won't be losing his podium.
He will be, because Tim will move into 3rd. Actually, no, that's a good point. Tim is currently in 2nd position at the moment. If my maths is right, Tim will move into 2nd, and Thomas will move into 3rd behind Maiko and Tim. So plenty still to go, guys. 6 laps left. This race has absolutely flown by, but penalties are going to be a big factor towards the end of this race, guys. So don't go anywhere, because the order is going to get shaken up very, very quickly as we go.
Felix needs to back off to Benjamin. As he's now trying to overtake him now as the inside. What can he do? Can he stick it in? Yes, he has. Now gets the DRS of Cortez. Is he trying to overtake Cortez now on the straight, or...
Cortez goes to the inside, but he's going to have to hold that line now as he leaves the door open and locks his brakes. As Felix is going to get a great run now into the hairpin, as Cortez's run's completely compromised, but he gets
Tim
good
again,
enough traction.
3-second time penalty.
So Tim's got a 3-second time penalty now, so that changes things a little bit. He will be 3rd now, with Thomas now moving up to 2nd after his penalty. It's a live order at the moment. Luke's got 6 seconds worth of time penalties, so yeah, Tim now dropped to 3rd behind Thomas and Maiko, who's doing a good job keeping it clean.
How many
and at the moment,
does he have?
2 warnings still, so right now, as long as he can keep it clean, he will win this race, which for me will be a great sight. It's been a while for Maiko after what he's been through this season, and a great way for him to end the season. Bit of a confidence booster, get that win under his belt, which he said to me he didn't think was possible, but his pace has improved week after week after week, to getting back to seeing the Maiko that we all know and love in FEL, and for next season that could be a real confidence booster for him. As Felix has moved ahead of Cortez at long last. He's now up into 7th, and he can get after Monster, who again is pulling away from this train of cars. So it looks like Cortez is struggling on those medium tyres.
Yeah,
he's really struggling.
Let's take a look who's on the medium tyres. Thomas and Ice-T and Cortez, Benjamin and Roy and Joran, and Luke Simon down in 12th place. So far behind the rest of the guys, can't keep up with the pace.
But you can see the top 5 now, all separated by 2 seconds. They're literally all on the same piece of track together now, so this is almost like IndyCar. They're all tucking in behind each other in the slipstream, and
when does the next season start?
Well, we'll reveal that. We can't say that right now.
Oh, Luke goes down the inside. Thomas is now the inside. Now he has the outs.
Oh, good move from Luke. Oh, that's going to compromise Thomas. And Michael's got a great run on him, and he's going to have DRS as well, so he might be able, as you can see, no DRS for Thomas. So Michael going to go around the outside of him into turn 4. Can he make the move? I think he's going to have the inside to turn 5 and 6, but their medium tyres still working very well for Thomas.
Oh, he pushes Thomas.
Well, their medium tyres are still working well.
Yeah.
So yeah, in answer to your question, Lassie Gaming in the chat, all details regarding Season 5 will be unveiled in the pre-season trailer tomorrow
Luke
at 7 PM European time.
Away from Thomas.
Yeah, so yeah, we won't be able to reveal that yet, but all revealed very, very soon. So make sure to check that out on Instagram and on our YouTube channel when that's revealed very soon. But I know you, like me, we obviously can't wait for Season 5.
Yeah.
Given how Season 4 has finished, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next season.
Yeah, another great season of racing in the Formulaeuroleague. Luke now is out of the DRS of Thomas, so Mons has 9 seconds of penalties. So
Yeah,
that will
see,
make him... Oh, yellow for who is from Matthias. But Monster falling so far down. Even
Monster's doing it.
Points.
He's going to be well down the order, Monster. He's going to lose a lot of places. Could finish 13th as it stands. He's definitely waiting for a safety car, Monster. Possibly, but at this point, he's probably just going to have to go to the end. He's got no choice. He's gone so far on the strategy. His tyres are literally crying out, but despite his penalties, he's done a fantastic job on nearly 30 laps he's done on that hard tyre.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're still on his car, but they must be literally worn down to the canvas now.
Yeah, probably you can see the silver wear of the rims of the tires. Monster has 73% tires, 37.
Wow.
73.
Well, on this game, he's getting very perilously close to that 80% danger zone, where punches tend to happen in that more often than not. So he's going to have to be nursing it, which is only going to be good news to Felix. Not that he knows Monster has penalties, but Felix will want to get this done on the road. Missed overtake for Formulaeuroleague, I think it's fair to say, for Felix, and he's about to do another one. I am absolutely certain of that. Round the outside into turn 1. Monster not going to fight him at all, and I don't blame him, really. He's not in the same race as Felix today, and I believe that will probably be the final overtake for Felix's stream. So if you're watching Felix's stream and you're done with the overtakes, tune back into our one as we're about to show the conclusion for the Formulaeuroleague Mexican Grand Prix and the Season 4 finale. And what a season it's been.
Wait, is Felix live right now?
As right now, Luke is trying to scamper away at the front. He knows he's got penalties, but right now, Maiko battling Thomas one final time this season, currently in the lead of this race, yet he doesn't know it.
If Luke pulls away 3 seconds, he still
well, he needs 6. He needs 6 at least.
I want Michael to get a penalty. I just think Luke deserves it so much to get his first victory. He just deserves it.
Yeah, but I mean, as quick as Luke has been, you've got to keep it clean, and Maiko has done that so far as he goes around the outside into turn 1. makes the move on Thomas, that will certainly boost his confidence. And that is not what Luke would have wanted. Luke would have wanted Maiko to be as far behind as possible.
Is Thomas going to fight back? No, he isn't. They make a little bit of contact. Is Tim going to get through?
Oh, Thomas is in a very poor position, and he's going to be a sitting duck to Tim, who's going to go around the inside, who makes that move, and this is for track position. Both of them have a penalty each to their name, and that is for effectively second at the moment.
Look, another penalty.
Oh no. So now Luke is going to, if my maths is right, Luke's going to drop behind all of these cars. He's going to finish in 5th.
No.
So Mikas Mildil saying, monster for driver of the day, come on guys. I mean, I'd love to give it to him, but for this incredible long stint he's done, but I can't really give it to him knowing that he's going to most likely finish in 13th position with the number of penalties he's got. But just like that, final lap of the race. Final lap for Formula Euroleague Season 4.
Ooh.
Talk us through it, Matthias.
An amazing season. Well, Luke is in the lead on track, but he won't be off track as Michael has 0 penalties or something needs to happen, something weird. Maybe a crash, I don't know. Is Tim going to take him out? Probably not. Cortez moves up to 8th place, Benjamin is in 7th place. Royboy gets a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, Luke is on track in the lead. I think he could be proud of that. It's only the last race of the last... Yeah, it's the last lap last season, but I think he could be proud of that, winning on track. But I think he would rather win off track, and I think he's going to get some good races next season. As Maiko is probably winning this round, the last race of the season.
See the Mexican fireworks.
Corner, yeah. Lucas through the final corner, last corner of season 4. Wins it on track, but doesn't win off track. Tim goes in
Maiko,
second.
as you can see,
Maiko
will get
wins.
the win. And as predicted, Luke falls all the way down into 5th place. It's a shame, but in fairness, with his pace that he's shown today, it's a bit disappointing to not get the win, considering that he probably could have nursed the car in certain areas to avoid that, as now everyone comes across the line. This monster now will drop well down the order and falls to 11th. So all those time penalties despite an incredible stint. But then having said that, Simon in the Mercedes did a whopping 29 laps on that hard tyre as well, so a huge effort from him. Great job from Simon to get the last championship point. That confirms Tim finishes 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. I believe Felix may have held on to 5th position ahead of Ice-T, as Benjamin will finish 4th. Also, Racing Point will not overtake Red Bull. But that is the Mexican Grand Prix, and it's your
top
winner.
3 on the podium, so GG. Also in the standings.
Brilliant job, and his first win since his return from injury. Great job from Maiko, runner-up in the season. But could this be a confidence booster to help him in his campaign for next season?
Yeah.
Plenty of talking points to wrap up this season. Matthias, been a fantastic season, it must be said. We've had drama. We've had tight races, we've had battles all the way through the grid, and it's almost a shame that it's over just like that.
Yeah, as Maiko wins it, 50 minutes of pure racing. Tim, Thomas, Ice-T, Luke, Felix, Cortez has a good debut for Ferrari in P7. Benjamin, Karam, Simon just about into the points. Monster, Royboy, Joran, Mikey, Matthias, Jelle, Killer 7, Marcus, Bendo and Lucas are the DNFs. And I'm going to invite some guys.
As Matthias is saying now, we're going to have a few post-race interviews.
Was the top 3 in the standings?
This season.
No.
We're going to invite in the top 3 finishers in the standings, which conveniently were the top 3 finishers in the race.
Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. Wait, just Darth.
FEL Freeze in the chat just confirming Monster had 89% tyre wear.
Oh,
Literally, those tyres would have looked like 50p pieces. The shape of them towards the end of this race, right down to the carcass. So congratulations to him. What a great result.
yeah.
Great drive. Not result, I should say, actually. Great drive from him.
As we're waiting to guys to join. Hello, Thomas.
Hello, my friends.
Hello. We're just waiting on Maiko and Tim. We have the champion of season 4 in our party. Yeah, what is your review of your championship winning season 4? What is your opinion about your season, Thomas?
Yeah, I started really strong, and I've made no mistakes until the end of the season. But at the end of the season, it didn't matter. So
You won it with a couple.
Yeah.
Do you think you can challenge for the title next season again, Thomas, or do you think that's not possible?
No, it's not possible. I think because I will drive with no lines. That's the reason why I moved to Ferrari. Otherwise, I would have stayed with Williams.
Yeah.
So next year is a little bit of a development year to learn, and then the season after, I just want to fight back.
So I mean, on today's performance, actually, if you don't mind me jumping in, Matthias,
No.
Thomas. So on today's performance, 3rd position, just a little bit off from winning the race, unfortunately. It was a good battle with Luke. What was your take on that battle? Were you trying to manage the medium tyres towards that second stint, or did Luke just have a bit too much pace?
But I had a problem with my wheel, because I took a warning and then I was really mad. And then my wheel came off the table a bit. So it was the entire time it was loosey. So I couldn't steer into corners like the S's. I lost so much time. And it was really hard. So I'm really happy with that P3. And even being with Luke so close, to even be in his DRS zone until lap 32, I think it was. So yeah, I'm really happy with today's performance.
Okay, well no, it was a great drive from you. Just for the benefit, obviously, I don't think we heard you for the second question because Matthias was having to invite others to the lobby. So just ask that question again, I believe. So your thoughts for next season? Obviously a brilliant season for Williams, Constructors Champion, Drivers Championship. Most successful driver this season in terms of race wins. Couldn't have gone better for you. Excellent job. Do you feel you're going to be able to carry that on for Ferrari next season? Or do you feel perhaps it's going to be a bit of a struggle to adjust to a new team and defend your title?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle with no lines. That's the reason why I moved to Ferrari. It will be a learning year, so I just hope for some race wins, maybe 1, maybe 2. But overall it will just be a learning season, and then I will move to season 7 with same ambitions as this year.
Okay, well, no, that sounds really, really good. I mean, obviously, I'm going to wish you the best of luck being a Ferrari fan myself, so I'm expecting big things, especially, of course, your teammate for next season, Benjamin, our Gamer. That's going to be pretty exciting. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, Benjamin is literally the new rising star of FEL. He was really quick. At the beginning of the season, he was a midfield driver, and now look at him. He's just a top driver. And when I practice with him together, he seems faster than me now. So, yeah, it will be a very, very tough challenge to beat him.
Yeah.
And if I can do that, it will also be a great performance.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to that, Thomas. And of course, I should probably play devil's advocate and ask, because we've seen so many blockbuster team pairings in real life Formula 1 and even on the game that really struggle to work together. Do you feel that perhaps your championship potential rival with Benjamin, are you going to be able to work together, or are you going to have do you think it's going to be harder to work with a rival in your new team?
Nah, I think even if we're rivals, we will be working together, because I know Lucas and I think he will just fire us, even if it's a joke. So yeah, I think we have to work together to even have a seat. But even with the rivalry, I don't see any problems. We can really work together. So yeah, no problems.
That's great to hear. Well, once again, congratulations on a fantastic season, Thomas. Brilliant stuff for Williams. I'm sure Matthias will echo this, that he's very delighted with your performances this season, as well as your teammate Felix's. And we will wish you all the best with your new endeavours with your new team, and hope to see you in the fight again next season.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we have Maiko. Maiko, how's your feeling about winning the last race of season 4? That's for first.
Yeah, very good. Finally,
Finally.
after some bad results, I took P1, so yeah, very happy with it.
When was the
also
last
with the
time you
battles
won?
we got. It's so hard that I forgot it.
Spain,
It's
maybe.
still a long time
I
ago.
think Spain. Spain was your last, maybe, or
Oh, that is very long. If that is true,
no, it's not. Wait,
I'm very mad. No?
you won in Spain. I don't even know. I think it's Spain, maybe, or
Jesus, that's a long time ago.
it's a long time ago. But what's your review about season 4 not winning the championship, not winning any championship, after winning both championships last season with Simon and Mercedes? What is your opinion about this season?
Yeah, my first opinion is yeah, very disappointed. But if you are looking with what I got with my injury, I didn't participate 2 races. So yeah, I think it's not very bad. But even if I drive the 2 races, I think Thomas was still winning the championship. He did an amazing job all season long, very strong. And yeah, very disappointed in the constructor championship, because that's a very important thing for me. I like it when Mercedes is on top. I'm also a Mercedes fan, so.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Maiko, so Adam here. First of all, as I said, Matthias, echo his thoughts. Congratulations on the race win. For your first win since your injury.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you, actually, your performances have been improving week by week since you recovered from your injury. Your thoughts for next season, just as a bit of a teaser for the fans maybe. Do you feel confident after winning this final race that you have got the momentum behind you now to go through the break and then come back stronger than ever to reclaim your title for next season? Is that on your mind?
Yeah, for sure, it's on my mind. It's always very nice to win the last race of the season, but I saw very much of new coming guys like Tim, Ardappel, Luke, all strong guys, also Thomas, but I know him all long time. So I'm looking forward to the battles, and maybe I can get a championship at the end. So
Yeah.
but I'm really looking forward to the battles. That's on my first.
Yeah, you did an
First
amazing
thing.
job with Thomas.
Well, so am I, of
Yeah.
course. But hopefully, obviously, wishing you all the best and in good health, because this year, I suppose we could argue that we were robbed a bit of a fight between you and Thomas, and as we saw today, it's exactly what we want to see when you two are up against each other, pedal to the metal, high octane stuff, battling with almost no limitations, with nothing on the line. And it was great to see that once again. So hopefully more of that next season, and obviously hopefully that you are feeling well and ready to give it your all next year.
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, now we have Tim. Tim, congratulations on securing P3 in the championship. You have come from a far way back. Only driving halfway of the season. I think your first race was in Monaco, but you got a DNF. Then you got a P2 in Bahrain, and then you really missed 3 races, and then you got back and started winning and getting podiums. So congratulations on your P3. What's your thoughts on this season?
Great. Honestly, doing half of the season, I didn't expect this to be 3rd in the standings, or end 3rd, and help Red Bull a lot going up in the constructors. And again, this race, keeping the momentum of getting podiums, is great.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job. Do you think you can challenge for the title even next season, or for both titles?
I really hope so.
In my opinion, you have the biggest chance of winning the Drivers' Championship, but a lot of guys have chance of winning it, so it's going to be a tough one for all of the guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Adam, do you have any questions for Tim?
No, I think you've answered the questions that I was going to ask you, Tim. I hope you don't mind not leaving you out. No, I guess as we look back now from season 4, it's been a great season. Great to have you with us. Obviously, I've seen you race in other leagues, and there's no doubt that your pace is there to compete with anybody that I've seen. I would say, is there a highlight of the season for you? Perhaps Germany, maybe.
I don't really know.
I don't know.
Not even one moment.
Oh wait, yeah. Winning the first race of mine this season, of course.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Which, for the benefit of the audience, was
I don't know.
But it was Germany, I think.
Yeah, wasn't it Austria where he won after penalties?
Yeah.
Or Bahrain? No?
No, Bahrain won, Felix won.
second.
Okay.
I won
But
Austria,
Germany was a tough one.
And yeah, Germany was tough.
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed the stream.
Good to
Yeah,
hear.
Austria, Germany, Italy.
Good season, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I made a little bit of a standing overall from guys getting podiums, victories and poles. Thomas got 12 podiums, 4 victories and 3 poles. Michael
Jesus.
8 podiums, 3 victories and 7 poles, so he's the qualifying master. And Tim got 8 podiums and 3 victories, but 0 poles.
Well,
Yeah, it's a good
did I
start.
have 4 wins?
Yeah, for
12 podiums.
yeah.
Wow, okay.
That was great. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate your time, and congratulations on your performances, not just today but this season. And hoping for more of the same from you guys for next season. So, yeah, Matthias, I guess what's your thoughts on season 4 then, just to round this all off?
It's been a great season as a team. You couldn't wish a better season, winning both championship, but in a neutral way, it's been a great season with a lot of good guys here. And in the start of the season, there was a bit 2 ways between Michael and Thomas, but in the end, you saw a lot of guys winning. Tim, Benjamin, you saw Kai and Ice getting into the fight, and I think next season is going to be really, really good.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it too, and I hope you guys are as well. For those of you still watching the stream, thank you so much for your support this season. The channel has gone leaps and bounds and grew in a larger stature, and we're just beginning. We're hoping to get more stuff, more content, more great racing, and all of those details are going to be revealed in the trailer tomorrow for season 5, so make sure to check that out on the Instagram page and the YouTube channel as well. And of course, don't forget guys, we've got the support series Division 2 of Formulaeuroleague on Sunday mornings, which is still going on now, and the next race will be in Bahrain this Sunday at 1 PM European time, 12 PM UK time. And so all that's left to say, Matthias, is thanks very much for everyone at Formulaeuroleague and all the supporters for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I absolutely cannot wait for season 5. So it's a goodbye from us.
Yeah, have a good night, and I hope to see you in season 5 and in the tier 2 races, which is on Sunday, 12 PM UK time and 1 PM Central European time. I'm going to say bye bye.